Hello, and welcome back to this Sonic Mania playthrough, as we, very slowly, chip our way through the zones of yesteryear to stop Eggman from exploiting the Phantom Ruby for his own gain. That's one of the big complaints that people have with Mania, at least the yesteryear part. Despite having 13 zones, one of which is just a final boss arena, only 5 of them are original, one of which being said final boss arena, and so really doesn't count. Annoyingly, these original zones will rank among the best in the game, seeing as they aren't beholden to use gimmicks from the past games in the series, or reuse level segments for the sake of nostalgia, so it's a shame that they make up such a minority of the levels. My favourite of these has, and likely always will be, Mirage Saloon, despite that generally being considered the worst of the new zones in the very reliable poll of 5 friends I asked to rank these levels. A very scientific study that can solely be used to extrapolate viable data, I'm sure you'd agree. But what can I say? It is a train that you can run on. It doesn't need anything more than that. I like train levels. Quickly, let's get going. Oh yeah. Before we can get to the train, we must make our way through the section that probably gives Mirage Saloon such a poor reputation. Flying the tornado. Somehow, Sonic and Tails are able to run out of hydrosity, find Knuckles and the tornado, and get in the air. And whilst Knuckles gets thrown off by Heavy Magician and has a more standard first act, Sonic and Tails are stuck in effectively a recreation of Sky Chase Zone from Sonic 2. People don't like these. They're slow, break up the game flow, aren't particularly interesting, and generally just feel like a waste of time. I never really felt like that before. It really doesn't last very long, barely over a minute and a half of actual gameplay. But yeah, I felt it this time. Tails' fall of his brains is seemingly not a very competent pilot, seeing how slowly he moves up and down and left to right. It makes it a pain to avoid what should be simple enough obstacles, seeing as they all move slowly, barely attack, and are plainly visible even when there is an attempt to hide them. Just grin and bear it. Think of it as your payment for getting to ride on a train with this on the front. Not sure why there's a snowplow on the front of a desert train, but if that's what Eggman needs for aesthetic purposes, that's what he can have. Quick diversion to send me off the edge of the train and enter a special stage. Didn't die to falling into the void here this time, just didn't collect enough rings to stay myself. And then we can take the train. I love train levels. They work really well for an engaging type of level design, as you can use each carriage as an opportunity for a different challenge. It's just a design opportunity that works in any genre, and they're always some of the most memorable levels in their games. So I'm sure that Christian Whitehead and his team will have... It feels sorta each and every time I play this act, I swear to God. 20 seconds! F***ing rip-off. But it's alright, now you get to fight one of the worst bosses in Sonic Mania! It's such a crap fight, I'm not even going to bother looking up the official name for the boss. From this point on, it's the Very Hungry Caterpillar. The resemblance is clearer before it transforms. Basically, you'll only enjoy this fight if you like trying to discern depth of view in a game that has none, or alternatively, if you like getting attacked in ways you literally cannot see coming and just have to preemptively avoid, because the Very Hungry Caterpillar makes you deal with both. It can jump from the background, easy to avoid but hard to punish, from the side, harder to avoid but much easier to punish, or from the foreground, screw you, cry harder. Realistically, give up immediately on trying to hit the background and foreground attacks, and get ready to slowly whittle down the VHC's health bar after the sideways attack. Like all other bosses, it's a quick fight that you'll end up deciding to damage boost through rather than bother trying to avoid poorly telegraphed attacks. I ended up killing it as it rose out of the background, which means it didn't even have the dignity to not look really stupid as it exploded. So yeah, the Very Hungry Caterpillar is as much of an asshole here in Mirage Saloon as he is in his book. Though for all of the pain he caused me, including actually killing me, it was the fact that the ending signpost began to float that caught my eye. Turns out it wasn't some new mechanical upgrade to the design, but rather just Heavy Magician floating just off screen, like the rascals he is. Fun fact, Heavy Magician and Heavy Rider are both referred to as female in the Sonic Mania manual, whereas all of the others use masculine pronouns. Regardless of whether the Phantom Ruby is making the egg robos woke, Bark the polar bear arrives out of nowhere, fires One shot the Tails pilots straight into, good job, and we end up crash landing in Mirage Saloon Act 2. This stage is the actual reason I like Mirage Saloon so much. I used to play Sonic Mania's multiplayer mode and get smoked by the competition. Not on this stage though. This was my zone. I could get through it in like a minute, though unfortunately my knowledge of the level design has atrophied significantly, and I spent most of my time running into things and barely missing jumps. I remembered the location of a special stage to grant myself another achievement, though considering this is my 4th attempt at the same special stage, how do you think it went? I'll do you one better actually. How do you think I failed? Supersonic isn't even that good in this game, I don't know why I put myself through this. The rest of the level will spend pinballing around what I think are supposed to be bottle caps and cactus flowers, missing every opportunity possible to take a more optimal path, to instead continue getting shot out of comically oversized revolvers. Don't think that's a time to stick in the leaderboards though. The Act 2 boss is our 3rd fight against a hard-boiled heavy. After her appearances throughout the rest of Mirage Saloon, it's unsurprisingly Heavy Magician. Except, not really? Although she does appear to enter a box and it is her we jump into to deal damage, you're really fighting her shape-shifting into Fang's gang. Each time she enters her box, she'll transform into Fang, Bean or Bark, each of whom has a unique attack pattern. Fang will bounce around and shoot his pop gun, Bean will throw bombs, and Bark will smash the ground to get debris to fall from the ceiling. It can be hard to actually see their attacks, Fang's corpse especially blending into the background quite well, but the safest bet is to really get up in their faces. There's an awkward gap between Heavy Magician transforming and becoming vulnerable to attacks, which can occasionally cause you to jump into them, uncurl inside them, and get hit, which isn't great. But they also struggle to land their attacks at this range too, so it becomes a battle to see who is less incompetent. 8 hits later and Heavy Magician runs away, leaving Sonic free to opening the animal capsule. One dance later and him and Tails jump into a final, comically oversized revolver, to reach Oil Ocean. I hope you enjoyed the video, and ciao.